Let me show you guys how I took a trade that ran to 1400% returns. We took two trades that did pretty good yesterday, and we took these trades out of our M15 supply and demand areas. You guys can see that on the M15, we end up pulling down from market open all the way down to the zone at 578, 577. We grab buy side liquidity and we start to push up. Ended up getting into a SPY call position that ran to over 100% returns, but this isn't the big trade that I took. I'm gonna get into this trade right here that ran to a 1400% return. Start by taking a look at the M15. You guys can see we do have a huge move to the downside. I ended up marking this as my pivot zone. You guys can see the bottom and the top of our previous candle before a large move is going to be a pivot. That's where I'm going to look for price to pull back to. So you guys can see we do get that push to the downside. We grab buy side liquidity in our M15 demand. We start to push higher and we end up in our pivot. So what do? I start to look for signs of entry. You guys can see that we have a shooting star candle form on our M15, showing us that sellers are starting to enter the market and that sell side liquidity is resting in this zone. We drop to the M3 in the same exact area. You guys can see that we do have price pull back to our M3 pivot as well, our M3 supply zone, and we start to kind of consolidate. So you guys can see we have our M15 supply. We have our M3 supply. We pulled back to the pivot that we wanted to pull back to from market open. We have price starting to consolidate after a large move to the upside. So that shows that buy side liquidity is starting to slow down and the buyers are weakening. So what I'm looking for is a nice setup to take a short position. End up getting a change of character on our M3. Once we get that change of character and we break structure to the downside, I ended up taking entry on SPY 581 puts. And that trade looked exactly like this. And you can see we have that crazy move to the downside after price grabbed sell side liquidity in our pivot zone. So it's really that simple. I mean, if you know what you're looking for and you're following your rules, these trades are going to set up for you. You don't have to find them. And it's kind of just a matter of waiting for confirmation. And eventually you'll get to the point to where you are seeing results like this.